Hey, how's it going? Today I'm really excited to try out my CPS Flow hood on this startup that I'm working on here. It should be pretty interesting. I've not gotten a chance to fully put it through its paces yet and try it out. So I'm going to go ahead and test it on a couple supplies, returns, test it against my hot wire, the Testo 115, and I'm going to test it against the static pressure chart using the field piece JL Manometer set. So should be a pretty interesting video, so stay tuned and check it out. But yeah, it's a pretty straightforward system. Actually really simple design. It's just a vane anemometer propped smack dab in the middle of this here. I think it's a 6x6 box. You got some flow straighteners going on in there, and I think that's a 24x24 inch hood. But like I said, I've not yet gotten a chance to fully experiment with it, so this is the first job that I've been able to, since having it, that I've been able to use it. So I'm really excited to give it a shot. And just so you know, I'm not sponsored by any of these companies. I'm just really into tools, and you know, I like to experiment with the tools. So hopefully one day I get to that point, but as of right now, no sponsors. This is just my opinion. And just me messing around with tools the way I like to do. So stay tuned. So in this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to measure airflow with just using the Testo 405i. And I'm going to compare it actually today. Pretty excited to try to compare it against my CPS Flow hood. So what I'm going to do here, first I'm going to start off just getting the general. It's only got one 16-inch return. I'm just going to start off just getting this return airflow. And what I'm going to do here in the Testo app, I'm just going to go ahead and select round duct, 16-inch diameter, and return air. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit OK there. So now I've got this all calibrated, seeing my CFM. So what I'm going to do just for a quick result here, I'm going to put it dead in the middle of the duct. And I'm just going to go ahead and just let that record for a few seconds here. So now we're going to go ahead and stop it. We've got about 1,000 CFM. So this is about right on the money. It's a 2.5 ton system. So now that I got my airflow, I'm going to go ahead and double check it using the static pressure chart in the manual. All right, so we're back in here. We're in the equipment room, and now I'm going to check the static pressure using these field piece JL3 MN manometers. And basically, I'm going to use this here flow chart, airflow data in the manual, and it's going to be for 31, which is 2.5 ton, and I've got the fan speed set to high. So let's see what we've got for our static pressure. So what I'm going to do here, once again, I'm going to wirelessly, I'll use the job link app for this. Usually I would use MeasureQuick, but I'm not doing a full commissioning. I'm just going to do I'm doing an airflow test here now. So zero them out just simply by pressing the center power button here. And so we want to put one side here into the return side. And we always want to make sure this tip is facing into the airflow, just like this in the ductwork. There's an arrow on it to ensure that. So all right, so now we're going to go ahead and put the other side into the supply. Directly in the pump, because this is a heat pump. So I don't have to worry about going before the evaporator coil, because it's total static pressure for the system. Okay. So now the upstairs system. So I see I've got a static pressure of 0.38 total. which is actually pretty good. So let's see what that correlates to on my chart. 0.38, so I take this, let's just say go to 0.4. Where's that at? Oh yeah, here we go. 0.4 on high speed. So we're doing about 1060 CFM. I think that should be about right. Let me make sure these static probes are actually, well, this is for my own sake. Okay, so basically I just realized the door on the unit had a little crack in it. When I sealed that crack, I actually got 0.5, 0.48, which is essentially right where you want to be static pressure wise. So if you basically follow that over, you see 0.5 is 990. So that's exactly where we were at, what we measured, right about what we measured with the hot wire at the return register there. So looking pretty good so far. So I did all that to demonstrate, to see if to demonstrate and see whether or not the CPS flow hood is accurate, because there's not really many videos out demonstrating this tool, and I've come to find it's actually pretty accurate. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is use the hot wire on a supply, and then I'm going to get the airflow with that now that we know the hot wire is giving us pretty accurate results, and then I'm going to use the flow hood, the CPS flow hood, in order to compare and see what we get. All right, so we're here in front of a supply register here now. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is take the hot wire, I'm at the 405i, and I'm going to go ahead and do a traverse across the face of this register. Let's see what we get here. So this right here is a 4x10 register. You can just simply measure that. So that's 10 inches. You go to the bead of the hot wire, and that'll give you, your length. And then you've got by 4. So there you go. So that's a 4x10. So I'm going to go do now. Go back into my app here. Make sure it's turned on. Go to outlet, flow outlet. This gear here, configure measurement, timed average, rectangular, and that's a 4x10, supply air. So boom. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit that. Now let's take a look here. I'm just going to go ahead and just do a general traverse across to the face of it here. Make sure, I like to make sure that I'm, within the lip of the register itself. I'm at the boot itself. So let's go ahead and start here. Let's try to watch and see what we get here. So we're getting about 173 in this corner. Let's go across. So if you watch as it's going across, you can see in real time how it's getting all the measurements. You want to make each pass about the same duration of time. That way you've got a nice even snapshot. Okay, so now we hit the stop button. We got about 165 CFM there. All right, so now I've got my CPS already set up here. It's the CPS EasyHood, and I've got it set up here with this my iPhone, work phone here. And essentially, let's see if we can get this thing to spin around properly. So we've got I'll brighten this up. Just a standard interface here. It shows our average CFM, max CFM minimum, and then we've also have our wet bulb drop dew point, temperature, and humidity. So I'm going to go ahead and get this up to the register. First we set it up. You can just put your location. It's a supply, regular airflow. If it's over 50 CFM, you want to use regular. Under 50 CFM, you want to use the flow plate, which is basically a diverter kind of plate. All right, so now what I do, I like to just go ahead and put this completely center the vane anemometer with the center, if you can see through it, with the center of the actual grill. So I'm getting about 152 CFM. I'm not seeing, I don't know if you can see that, but 152 CFM. And our last recording with the vane was about, I think it was 165. Let's see here. So yeah, here's my 165 CFM. So not that bad, not too bad at all. Let's see. Oh wait, matter of fact, here we go. So yeah, now I'm getting exactly, well, 170. So we're still high and low, about 5 CFM. It's still climbing 175. So about 10 CFM high or low, depending on how you orientate it. So let's see if I come down a little bit lower. About 150 on average. Let's see. I mean, it's pretty close. It's not perfect, and sometimes, like if we experiment here, take this flow hood off. I think that the hood is going to be a little bit more accurate, but we'll try and see what happens if we just. Yeah, it's way off. That's super off. So yeah, we don't want to do it with the hood off. That's for certain. Try it again with the hood on. And it's kind of like I said, it gets you in the ballpark, because right now we're dead on 165. So sometimes you get lucky and you get perfectly right exactly on it. But once again, that's not ideal. That's not the way a flow hood should be. It should be pretty much repeatable every time. So like I said, what I found is if you line the center of the vane directly center with the register, looking down that hole, it usually gets you pretty much right on the money. But you're not going to always have the luxury to do that. You sometimes will be in spaces where you have to be kind of like, you know, at the very edge of the register. Like I'm here at the edge now, and that's not too far off. Like to be way at the bottom of the register, I'm still within 10 CFM. Alright, so here we go. So even if I, you know, go to the corner of the register here like this, have the register in the corner, let's see what we get here. So I'm getting about, let's see, damn, about 150. Yeah, this thing is about 100, let's say about 140 CFM, 150 CFM. So I'm still within 8 to 10%, even not completely centered. So once again, you center it again. That's about within 2 to 3%. So it's pretty accurate. Like I say, it's just not that accurate for high velocity. You got to make sure if you're testing this thing, it's going to be pretty low velocity. This isn't really that low velocity coming out of here, but with really high velocity airflows or airflow that's not evenly coming out of the register, that evenly is going to be a little less accurate. But for just you know, general flow supply registers, this thing is super accurate. Well, I won't even say super accurate. I'll just say it's very usable. All right, so just so that way we don't think it was just a fluke and it just got lucky on one register, I was going to try a different register. It's a totally different size. This is the 4x12, much higher airflow coming out of this. And I'm going to start off using my hot wire here. So let's get this thing all set up again. Outlet. I'm going to change our settings. 4x12. And the supply. Okay, do a timed average. Stop, hit the stop. 200 CFM on the dot. All right, so what we're gonna go ahead and do now, close that up. And we're gonna go ahead and grab our flow hood here. And just so you know, I'm not sponsored by CPS or anybody, by Testo. This is just stuff that I have to purchase for the job that I do, but I like to experiment with these things. So, wish I were sponsored, but I'm not. So here we go. Let's try it out. See what we get. Line it up. So as you can see, we're getting pretty close. Got about 190 CFM. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to see if I move it in any way. Will it give me? All right, well there you go. So 208. Now once again, oops, sorry. That right there is right on the money. So the reason why it went up is because I moved the actual vein, anemometer, I moved it up and centered it exactly with the duct. That's going to give you the most precise measurements. I mean, as you can see, that gave me exactly 200 CFM, pretty much what my hot wire measured. Now we're going to experiment once again. Let's get to the sun. Just go in the corner here. So you can see I've got this corner match up with the corner of the duct. Let's see what it gives us. It's about 170 CFM. Still not that far off. Not to mention, we might be even losing a little bit of pressure in there. And let's try to center it again. How? Right there. 200 and around 210 CFM. So there you go. I mean, that's accurate within probably I don't know, 3%. So I'd say that's pretty close. Pretty usable tool right there. And like I said, we tested 2 different registers, 2 different boot sizes. And that hot wire, like I said, I've used that. I test that against, I've got also a field piece. Forgot the actual model number, but the only one they make, hot wire they make. So I've tested against that as well. It's accurate, and that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, I forgot. I also want to try the return as well to see if it's just as accurate, doing return over supply. This is going to be pushing a lot more CFM through it, like we just discovered with the static pressure. I think we're doing about 9 to 950 CFM. So we'll see. We'll probably be at the upper limits of what this thing's capable of. So what we want to do, I'm switching it from supply to return and regular airflow. All right, let's see what we got here. Matter of fact, this might not even fit here. Yeah, there's gappage going on. There's just too many gaps, but I mean, that's way off. 609. But the reason being is just these gaps here. I tried covering it here with my hand, but that's not going to suffice. Maybe I can get some tape or something. Matter of fact, let's just try that. Let's get some tape. Okay, so what I went ahead and did is I put a board there. Let's see if that makes any difference. Still got gaps, I think. So yeah, we're right at 575 CFM, which we know is not right. We know that's off. So it probably, like I said, I think the upper limit to this thing is probably about 300 to 400 CFM. Like I said, I haven't really experimented, I haven't really tested it out to its fullest potential, but from my limited experience with it, that's probably where we're going to be topping out at. So, like I said, that's pretty decent though. I mean, can't do full-on returns, but for supplies, it does pretty well. That's pretty much all I got to show for today. It's been pretty exciting seeing how the CPS FlowHood works, but yeah, like I said, if you have any other comments or if you have any experience with that system, if you don't mind putting in the comments below, because I'd really like to see a little bit more input on this thing, trying to get the fullest potential out of it, the FlowHood that is. And if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks, we'll see you on the next one.